We begin by making the ground and the sky. I'm using yellow pastel on the ground, and then I'm using my finger to kind of blend in the dust. You'll notice dust is formed when you are working with chalk pastel. And then I'm going to add just a second color here and blend again. And then I'm going to add any light color to the sky that you want. I'm using blue. And then I'm going to use a different finger to blend the dust in for this one so we don't mix up all the colors. Next, we are going to create a mask or a stencil to make clouds in the sky. So I am cutting a cloud shape on a scratch piece of paper here with my scissors. And from that shape now, we're going to make some clouds. I'm going to move my paper aside and use a dark blue color or any kind of contrasting color to what you have in the sky and color straight onto the cloud shape. Once you're finished coloring on that cloud shape, bring your paper back and lay this paper onto the sky where you'd like to make some clouds and use a finger to push up with the the pastel dust onto the sky. I'm pushing up, up, up and blending in that dust. And now you're going to see the shape of the clouds in the sky that is remaining from the mask or the stencil. Okay, I'm going to do this again now. I'm going to add a little bit of red so that I end up with a purple color for the next clouds. Okay, now that we have clouds in our background, we're going to make some mountains in the background below the clouds. And I'm going to cut some pointy mountain shapes here. And on this one, instead of pushing up with our pastel dust, we're going to pull down. Okay, now we've finished mountains in the background. Now I'm going to cut the shape of a plateau. A plateau is like a mountain. It's elevated above the ground level, but at the top of the mountain is flat. So the mountain goes up and then over and then back down to make a plateau shape. You see plateaus often in the desert. Again, for this shape in our middle ground, I'm going to pull down to put the dust onto the paper. And this is going to be below our mountains because it's in the middle ground, not the background. Okay, now we're going to move on to the foreground. We're going to make things in the foreground, which is the area that is closest to us. So these things are going to be close. I'm making the shape of a river that comes down from the plateaus down to the bottom of the paper. And here's a trick. If you want to show that something is close to you, you make it bigger. And where you want to show that something's far away, you make it smaller. So back in the back towards the middle ground, the river is going to be very narrow. Now, as I get closer to the bottom of my paper, I'm making it wider. I'm going to color this in and add some other details, some plants, some cacti. I even have some handouts with creatures. If you'd like to draw some creatures, you can as well. Thing to remember here, things that are close are big, things that are far are small.